Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for a weekly angel reading for May 29th through June 4th, 2017. So let's just take a deep breath and just allowing your hearts to be open. I'm already getting a sense of that in this week we really need to open our hearts. They're kind of showing me a window pane or double window that can open on both sides, but the panes. It's not a one sheet. It's like little several squares, and it, although it's a window, which is usually my symbol for opportunity, it also feels like a prison. Let's just be blunt about it. And I saw the number 5 written there. And what's interesting is that each pane is seems to keep subdividing and multiplying, so that uh, it's starting to obscure the pure vision of the scene beyond the window. But I can feel this sense of trying to open the window, yet there seems to be a lot of fear to the changes that the number 5 is representing, that are coming about. And so I feel like you're standing in the you're standing, in a place of where you can observe the changes, or maybe even observe the outcome that you're been praying for, yet you are somehow afraid of going beyond that point, going beyond the threshold of that window. And so you shouldn't be afraid of this opportunity, as they're indicating with the number 9, that this is your life purpose, and that this is something. It means that there is a deep connection and passion in this for you, and that what is in front of you right now is your purpose, only because it's summoning you and you're drawn towards it. And yes, it's scary and you don't know what to expect and you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. But the thing is what you need to do right now is to confront your ego with the source of God within you by asking your ego, what is it that you need to be afraid of right now? Why is it so important for you to be indicating all of these fears that seem to be multiplying as these window panes keep dividing? What is it then that's so important? You may have heard me say this before, but this is the moment where you need to tell your ego to prove it to you, because it doesn't have any evidence. It's just protecting itself because it doesn't understand anything beyond what it is, which is nothing. And so it's all illusions, and it must convince you to believe in those illusions in order for you to act upon them. So if you ask it to prove it, to show you the evidence that is so necessary for you to be afraid in this moment right now, when you're looking at something that's potentially good and you don't see the negative, you're being coerced into believing and thinking that there are things that you need to be afraid of. And so once you do this, I guarantee you that you will all of a sudden, it can't prove it right then and there. And that's how you need to be insistent. Like, prove it right now, what I need to be afraid of. Show me the evidence of what you're saying. And it can't do it because there's nothing for you to fear except for the fear that's speaking to you. So, don't let your fears in this week about change. So don't see change as something. Don't see change as your enemy, but see change as literally the prayers unfolding for you. And this has a lot to do, from many of you, they're showing me a dollar sign. So that this has to do with something that's going to sort of and God is coming through, and He did before, and I just didn't remember, but He's coming through as to confirm your prayers about guidance and resources, especially financially. The prayers that you've been praying for changes specifically, He's indicating in your finances, and so this is the time, and He's writing out the word intensity and density, and so it's like, yeah, it's becoming more concrete, it's becoming more real, and it's becoming intense, and you're just experiencing a lot of, He's showing me a lake, a lot of emotions, but what He wants you to notice, because He's showing me a lake that's completely calm, not a ripple in the wave, and He wants you to pay attention in spite of what your thoughts are telling you to be afraid of. He wants you to focus on how you actually feel on a vibrational level, how your soul feels about this opportunity, because here is where the truth is being spoken. And He's writing out the word laws, meaning that this is your opportunity to pay attention to the laws of attraction, because your vibrational reading from your inner being will never steer you or misguide you, steer you wrong or misguide you. So He wants you to pay attention to that serenity, that sense of release, peace, that this opportunity awakened within you when you first had recognition of it. And as you do this, the window panes clear away, and you just have this beautiful scene in front of you. So and He's writing it out, happily ever after. And this is what you've wanted. And what He wants you to understand, that happily ever after is the plan. It is not only the plan, but it is who you are. And when you don't have that, it's your divine right. He's writing this out for all of His children, He's saying. And you're all children of God, no matter. And He's writing everyone on earth, everything, everyone and everything on earth is a child of God. He's making he's showing me some animals. He's specifically wanting you to understand the trees, the plants, all living things are children of God, His creations. And this is your moment where you've co-created this moment with God. So because you are His children, what you are always creating is a happily ever after. When that doesn't happen for you, it's because you've allowed your fear, your ego, to convince you to believe in its illusions and kind of cast shadows over the light of your truth, is what He's writing out right now. And so this is, I don't know why He's saying this, but He's saying this is savage, to give over all of your power to your fears. And He's right now, He wants you to have faith. And that faith comes from taking the action, flowing with the changes, even though you don't have all the answers, and discovering what is really there for yourself, instead of listening to this suspicious talk of your ego without having any proof. Well, you're not going to get proof because the ego can't present it to you. You think about it, it's not showing you the thing that's going wrong, that it's telling you. It's not happening in front of you. It's telling you it could happen. But the only way to really get the truth is to go forward. And that's why this is your opportunity. This is why they brought up the number 9, light workers. Get moving on your life purpose right now. The evidence comes through taking inspired action steps. Action is the key here. And once you begin the action, that means in your heart you've made a decision. The action is the decision, not the pondering about whether or not I should make the decision. But taking the action is the decision. And that's when faith begins. That's when you put your faith into action. is that scripture reading says faith without works is dead, meaning not that life is dead, but there is nothing that can be shown to you. You can't, there's no experience that you can have without the action. And then is when you will see what possibilities are there. With each action step you take in faith, more possibilities. And, here's what they're saying. I'm hearing them say, more possibilities and opportunities will increase, as they're writing out the word augment. So you have to begin now. And they've been talking to us about this, I know last week and maybe the week before, but this is really important for you to understand that it's time for you to set aside your fears and go find the truth for yourself. Get busy, they're writing. Get busy. And they're showing me a boat. And what they mean is just get in that boat and let it take you. Because the stream is like the current of your soul. And it knows where you want to go. At least it knows all the places, all the ways that you want to go that will make you happy. And it will take you to all of them safely while still letting you choose. Because if you sit in the boat and you flow with it in that stream, as you anchor yourself, a better way to say this, as you anchor within your heart by recognizing what it is that you are truly passionate about, that begins to become a firm decision that will a secure decision that will lead you to a myriad of happy outcomes. But it will take you to the best one. But you just got to be willing to get in that boat, take that action, and let it lead you somewhere towards this goal. Your goal, again, I said it before, but God's will is love. To express it, to receive it in all forms that it can be done, that's His will. So general that it can't usurp your free will. That's why your will is God's will and God's will is your will, because you both want the same thing. But the thing is that God just holds that. He doesn't get lost in the details. And the details come in that material form because there's so many specifics in in creation for you to focus upon and sometimes fixate upon. And when we fixate, then that instead of focusing, so there's a difference here. When we fixate, we lose sight of all of that general idea. We lose that general purpose. We lose sense of that general purpose. But when we focus with the same intention of just sharing and experiencing love, creating our own happiness, and knowing that there's not one thing that can give us that, but many things. And so we open ourselves up to the pleasure. So what we're seeking is pleasure. We're seeking love. We're seeking to share, have an exchange of this in all of our interactions. And you can be happy in so many different ways. So why must you fret over any of it? Don't let your ego get you, cause you to fixate on a problem, and it cause you to, squeeze the life out of the opportunities that are right in front of you all day long. Okay, and so this is when you need to ask for help and clearing or shifting your perspective. Don't forget to ask for that help. Okay, now they keep writing cop, and I get this sense that you can kind of call on the angels to kind of help police your ego for you, so that you don't get sort of off guard or off course although you really can't, but so that you aren't afraid of the changes that are coming up for you. And they keep writing out the word sophisticated, and I don't know why, but um, there's something about this approach, or something you're going to discover in your faith, your walk of faith, and that you're going to grow. Like, it feels like this word has this meaning to me right now of maturity. And so this week you're going to somehow mature, become a little bit more sophisticated in how your human journey with your ego is going to get a little bit more sophisticated, because you got to remember, your ego isn't your saboteur, as some have presented it. It's not evil. It's negative, not because it's evil. It's negative because it lacks understanding. It can't understand what you desire, because what you desire is more, and what it desires is security, and so less is more for it, and even nothing at all, no changes at all, or everything remaining the same is even more safe to it, because, well, or safer, because it knows what it knows. But remember, it knows nothing. So you really can't rely on that. But it is there for a purpose. It helps you to sift through the contrast, to know what's dark and what's light, what's right, what's wrong. And I don't mean dark and light in that way, although I said it back, next to those things. But it's just contrast. It's just, this is how we recognize our way, through the contrast. One thing that we want shows that there's another thing on the other side showing us what we don't want, so that we know why we want that, and we know why we don't want that. So we don't need to be afraid of our ego. It has a purpose, but you're going to learn to utilize this purpose in service of your purpose, which is love, to keep you on track. Okay? So they wrote out the word knowledge, and I feel like this week you're going to gain some knowledge, which is going to give you power, help you to sort of stand more firmly in your power. All right, let's take a look at the theme for the week, which is the Archangel Oracle card. And of course, we have prioritized the Archangel Metatron. So, he's asking you to get focused, not to fixate, and you're going to focus on your highest priorities, is what the card, the first sentence says. Focus on your highest priorities. So that is, you're not focusing on success. You're focusing on serving your passion. You're focused on, doing what you love. And you're not going to think about it. You're going to do what you love. When you know what you love before you need to think about what it is that you love. And it's the practice of doing the opposite is what makes you feel so insecure about acting on the things that you love. So instead of thinking about them, just start putting them into action, because remember, the faith without works part, you see? And without the works, you're going to learn so much more. You're going to see so much more that you do love. The world opens up. It expands for you instead of contracting for you. And the next line says, I will help you get organized and motivated. So you want to call on Archangel Metatron this week to help you and there's that word help again, right? To help you police yourself in a sense. So, ask him to kind of help you to recognize when you are fixating rather than focusing. And focus, you'll feel this collective support of energy that almost seems to surpass you, flows through you and surpasses you, enlivens you, invigorates you, etc. But fixating, you become stuck. It's like an energy where you feel like there's a lot of contraction around the energy of fixating, and you become anxious and restless, where the other one you feel like you're floating on top of the world, so to speak, or that you have this bliss that you've, latched onto your bliss and you're going for this really wild ride. So focus rather than fixate, because you'll know if you're focused because you're able to get things done. And when you're fixating, you're not. You're even if you're doing it, you're running around in circles. It's like you're chasing your tail and you don't feel confident. So, he wants you to ask for his help, and he's going to give it to you by making you aware of the difference between this contrast in this very similar contrast, but they seem very similar, but they are a contrast, focusing and fixating. So pay attention to the energy of the two. And when you're fixating, let it go. Go to something where you are able to focus. Don't worry and don't judge yourself about, oh, I'm all over the place and I see people over here and they look like they're... No, now you're fixating. You're judging and you're fixating on the idea that you're not getting anywhere. And that is not a focus. So just focus, concentrate on noticing whether or not you are able to move, like flow in your movement and your activities, or are you feeling anxious and stagnant? Is there a sense of stagnation or just running around in a circle? Okay, because that will let you know if you're letting if your ego is out of balance for you. Okay, let me just kind of tune in and see if I'm getting other specific messages. Okay, and one of the things he's showing me is that some of you have been feeling a little bit vulnerable. When I see a naked behind, that means my symbol for vulnerability. And they're showing me that some of you have been feeling a little bit vulnerable, especially because they're showing me this person standing, not facing me, in front of a tree trunk, which is the connection. So you've been feeling vulnerable and disconnected from your goals, and there's a worry. They show me the number 8, which could be about finances, but it could also be in your creativity. Maybe you've been having a writer's block, I'm hearing, or you've just been experiencing what you think are creative blocks or financial blocks. And the thing is, they want you to understand that energy is always flowing. So this can never be, okay? Because that would mean that the omnipresent energy of God has blocks, and it isn't. But what happens is that we shut ourselves off when we fixate. And the energy of fixation is to let you know that you're no longer channeling your gifts of creativity for the greater good, but that you're fixating and looking at and using those gifts of being channeled through suspicion. It has to go somewhere. Suspicion, addictions is where creativity usually goes, and other things like it, other facets of that, if it's not channeled in the way that it was meant. And how does that happen when it doesn't get channeled in the way it's meant? Because you doubt. That's the first little glitch that we insert into that stream. And then we insert other things, fear, we insert feelings of unworthiness and powerlessness and hopelessness and helplessness, etc. So they want you to be aware that change is vulnerable. And when you feel that way, you need to celebrate that, because it means is that you're in new territory. And it would be better for you to feel more vulnerable most of the time, to let you know that you're being so open to the present moment. And that's where the faith comes in, just taking that action, taking that inspired action, even though you're afraid of what the changes may turn out to be for you. But you take that action so you can discover the truth, okay? That's what's important. Get beyond the ego's little talk so you can get the truth. All right, let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. All right, and we have the 10 of Michael. So this is a good card because what it means is that your mental, the cycle of that you've been running mentally is coming, is you've run it, it's run its course basically. So it just can't get any worse at this point. And so it can only get better from here. And somehow at that precise moment, you're able to see that the good job you've done. So I get this sense because see her taking a bow, like, it's like performing. You the whole time you're there's this little doubt that until you get to that last breath, it's like you're holding your breath until you actually complete it, and then you receive the acclaim from the audience, and you're always doing better than you think. And this is one of the things about the mind, about the ego. We can never really know how well we've been doing. And the outcome is that you've done a great job. You haven't screwed it up as much as you thought you had. And actually, some good things have come out of this situation. And so that's what this card is telling you. They're going to find out that it isn't as bad as you thought. Like, you're doing much better than you thought. And you can do even better when you change the way you think. And that's what this card is giving you the opportunity to see, that if you can change the way you think and you still didn't do as poorly as you thought, how much more could you do if you gave yourself a break, and you stopped crucifying yourself and you learned to have fun. Like, that's what performance is about, is that we should be having fun, not critiquing ourselves while we're doing it. And this is a lesson I know all too well. So, here again, this is what this is all about. If you did that well, even though there were things that you didn't think that were quite as could have been better, but the response you get is still overwhelming beyond your expectations, then how much more could you do if you allowed yourself to have fun? So they're writing out the word joy right now. They want you to focus on joy. And they're writing out the word fever as you have a passion for this. This is something inside your blood, and it runs hot, and you can't cool this off. So you might as well just go with it and enjoy yourself, because when you do, as it says right here, new opportunities for happiness will now follow. And you will feel free. So put the past behind you. Now this all makes sense, does it not? All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Whoops. Grabbed. All right. Okay. No trouble getting that up. Righty, let me straighten this up. And so the next card is Epiphany. So we knew we were going to gain some new insights in this week. And the Hermit comes up, or the Epiphany card. This is traditionally the Hermit. And we have Archangel Raziel's name here again. So notice how we've been seeing him, his cards come up, which was, discovering last week was spiritual understanding. There was the week before that was taking back your power. So one of the things about the Hermit that I like to notice here is that, yes, it's about spiritual growth. So this is number one, this is going to be about you growing spiritually right now, meaning you coming into your own sense of power, intuitively, your instincts, your personality evolving, who you show yourself, how you show yourself to the world, and how you see yourself. These components independently are shifting and working together at the same time, and to bring about a sense of new freedom and liberation for you. And getting a sense that this is also going to help you to become more secure in yourself, and so that you can be this light to the world. The card says, "Be a light to others," and the the hermit doesn't just hide out. Okay, I think that would be like one of his negative aspects. I think his more his soul there right now. His soul aspires not to hide from other, but his soul aspires to bring great wisdom to the world. Okay, and he discovers this wisdom through letting go of the spiritual attachment. I mean, sorry, not the spiritual attachments, but the material attachments, and just sort of redirecting that power through the inner planes. But he's a teacher of this knowledge, this wisdom. And so this is about you not just, staying secluded and sort of working on yourself, but this is about, I get a sense that you're better off than you think, and going on the heels of this card, and it's time for you to focus on your mission out in the world. Now, I just saw the word sabbatical. So some of you may be thinking about taking a sabbatical because you want to focus on a project, maybe say the research to gather to present something, a project that you're working on that's really has a really dear to you. Or you may want to go out into the field and sort of do some field work on something that you've been doing. So this is a good opportunity for you to take sabbaticals if that's something that your higher self has been guiding you to do. But at the same time, you may want to open up your schedule a little bit, and it may, and I'm seeing the word severe, but you may want to sort of open up your schedule, and this may kind of be difficult for you, challenging, so that you can make room for some of the things that are really some spiritual quests that you have, making room for that, either it's attending classes or teaching, or starting a private practice of some sort on the side. It starts out this way. So and I don't know why I'm saying the word privileged, but it's, I don't know if it's the feeling I'm getting is it's sort of like that this would be a privilege for you and a privilege for others. Okay, and I kind of see you sort of on the road. So if this is something that's been coming up for you, taking something on the road, even if you're able to work from home, and you can, sort of take it on the road because you can work from anywhere. If something like this comes up, I don't know why these things are coming up, but that's what I'm kind of getting. I'm seeing the word comfortable, so it's about doing what's comfortable for you at this time, and taking care of yourself and your own needs. Let's take a look at the card for the weekend. Whoops. And we have another card from the Suit of Swords of Michael here. So the Nine of Michael. And this card is about, again, like what we're talking about at the beginning, about, these worries that kind of get you in the middle of the night, that, where you, all of a sudden, when you step out of your comfort zone, your ego waiting to sort of pounce on you about making, taking that brave step, and tries to point out all of the foolish reasons for doing so. So don't let that get to you, okay? Don't let your ego try to make you take a step back when you've really moved beyond that. And it says your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire. Release feelings of regret, guilt, worry to your angels. So let that go. Forgive yourself, okay? Forgive your past. Forgive the past by understanding that you are better for it. And there's really nothing for you to apologize for. You and they are better for it, because your purpose together, and even in unfortunate circumstances, you're still serving a purpose, that contrast. You're helping that person to discover what good is for them or what is the right path for them by their intersection in something that wasn't. It helps them to understand who they are as well as it does for you. And I'm seeing something about it's helping you, something is helping you, like I get a sense about expenses. I'm saying the word expenses, and that you may have just, been a little bit frivolous, or thrifty, because either way, either one is not balanced, and you somehow have regrets about that. And you think, oh, you keep thinking about, if I had just done this with that money, if I had just done this with this money, if I had kept it a little bit more, if I had invested it, then. And you got to let all that go, because that energy, that feeling is informing how you're seeing this opportunity that's in front of you. Like your information is all past related. It has nothing to do with the truth about this opportunity in the present and going forward. And they're writing out the word proof again. Like, you don't have any proof about how this is going to turn out. You just don't. At this moment right now, you don't. So all of this nonsense is just that, nonsense. So don't let opinions, they're writing out the word opinions, dictate what you do. Nobody can be in your shoes. Nobody feels the passion of the love, the connection that's flowing through you. They can't describe it. They can't get into your shoes. Okay, they can talk around it as close as they can, but they still can't be in your shoes in the moment that you're feeling it and know. So take the opportunity. All right, that's the one advice I'm hearing from them. Take this opportunity. All right, this is going to put your struggles behind you. They want you to stop being a victim. They're showing me that cross, the person on the cross again. It's not Jesus, it's a person. So there's you. Get up off the cross. Stop being a victim. Take this opportunity, all right, and see where it leads you. All right, so let's take a look at the card that I pulled from the bottom of the deck. And we have the Queen of Gabriel, the Queen of Wands. And this is someone who is so in touch with their sacred fire, their heart. They're in touch with, they know how to nurture it. They know how to nurture it in others. They know how to honor it within themselves. They're not afraid of it. And this is the time for you right now to really take action. And this is about nurturing yourself, nurturing your own purpose, nurturing your own ideas, your own creativity. So, you're in the cauldron right now, and you're cooking, so to speak, and you need to recognize that this is what this moment is, that things are starting to unfold for you. You're close to your goals, and they're right now fool. You're not a fool for following your goals, for following your bliss. And they want you to give. They're right now this word give. Give everything that you have given. Give it all. Give yourself. Give yourself this opportunity. Give everything in your power that you possess, all your skills, all of your talents, your gifts. Give this to this opportunity, and you will see the outcome. It will bring many, many blessings, many times over. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and I thank you for joining us here on YouTube, and thank you for all the comments that I've been reading over the week. Thank you as well for joining us on Facebook. If you haven't joined our Facebook page, you can go to the link below on this video, where we do the daily card messages Monday through Friday. So thank you all for your comments there. If you're looking for an angel reading, you can contact me at theangelschool.com. You can go to the service page where you can set up for an angel reading, or if you like a coaching, you can see the Divine Roadmap coachings there. If you want to learn how to read tarot, you want to learn how to talk to your angels or work on problems, any of that you can do there. So I send you lots of love. God bless you all.